Tactical Evolution was released on August 15th, 2007. This set introduced 3 incredibly relevant cards during this time: Crystal Seer, Zombie Master, and Ill Blood. Additionally, a new ban list was released on September 1st, 2007. Confiscation, Metamorphosis, Snatch Steal, and Ring of Destruction were all now banned from competitive tournament play. Breaker the Magical Warrior, Card Trooper, Destiny Hero Disc Commander, Magician of Faith, Marshmallow, Snipe Hunter, Brain Control, Fisher, Gold Sarcophagus, Megamorph, Smashing Ground, the Transmigration Prophecy, Trap Dust Shoot, and Wall of Revealing Light were all now limited to 1 copy each. Destiny Hero Malicious, Green Gadget, Jinzo, Red Gadget, Yellow Gadget, Nobleman of Crossout, Pot of Avarice, and Royal Decree were all now semi-limited to 2 copies per deck, and DD Assailant, Protector of the Sanctuary, Deck Devastation Virus, and Good Goblin Housekeeping were all now unlimited to 3 copies. But more importantly, there was one Shonen Jump Championship prize card during this time that would tip the scales of victory heavily in favor of the fortunate few, who had the privilege of activating it in a competitive setting, one of the most iconic and powerful cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Crush Card Virus. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let me set the scene for you. It's September of 2007. The most recent set, Tactical Evolution, came out earlier in August, but the first opportunity to use the cards in this pack was now, at SJC Washington, D.C. Now, Tactical Evolution is a set full of garbage. There is no other way to say it. It was a terrible, awful set, full of some of the worst cards that have ever graced Yu-Gi-Oh's halls, but it also included 2 extremely powerful ones. The one you're looking at now, Ill Blood, is maybe the only playable Gemini ever, and it, combined with Zombie Master, formed an extremely powerful reanimation engine for zombie decks. Now, zombie is a very powerful archetype with really strong plays. Certainly, back on the schoolyard, Giant Rat into Pyramid Turtle into Ryu Koki was fearsome, but it's during this period that the deck gets competitive teeth. And this is Dan Bolito's top 4 list from that tournament, SJC Washington, D.C. Now, the reason that Cimo and I have picked top players playing these decks is because they also contain a very powerful single card, Crush Card Virus. This card was the stuff of legends. The pre-errated version decided games all the time. However, in order to procure a copy, you had to get good. It was given out as a prize card at SJC events, and as a result, only the top players had them, and usually only had 1 copy. The copies that were in existence were kind of trafficked around by using teams and the like, so if you saw a top 8, oftentimes you would see 5 or 6 people playing only one of this. Now, this list has a ton of really powerful and really searchable targets that allow this card to go off more often than other decks, and when it goes off, oh boy, you're gonna see. So in terms of this actual performance, Dan Bolito got top 4, and in fact, in Swiss took out most of the people that were favorites to win the entire event. Dan was on an unbelievable tear over the last couple of tournaments, but unfortunately lost their semi-final match to an individual that would be banned a year later for getting in a fist fight when someone threw dice at them. Old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so weird. All in all, this deck is so cool, and I cannot wait to show off just how powerful Crush Card Virus is, just how good Ryu Koki is, how powerful Book of Life is, Card of Safe Return. I mean, there is just a smorgasbord of nonsense in here, and I'm itching to play it. So let me get you through the individual cards. We've got Breaker the Magical Warrior, 1 Card Trooper. Despite the fact that we're like a reanimation style deck, there's not actually a lot of really powerful cards to send to the graveyard. At this point in Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of stuff didn't have a graveyard effect. More important is just getting stuff for Book of Life. We've got 3 Cyber Dragon, 2 Giant Rat. Fun fact, Rat can get Trooper if you're in a pinch. We've got Ill Blood, we've got triple Pyramid Turtle, and I have to ask, please sound off in the comments. Is Pyramid Turtle a large turtle with a normal-sized pyramid? Or is it a normal-sized turtle with a large pyramid? Make your voice heard. 2 Ryukoki, and despite what people may tell you, this card has an effect that occasionally comes up. Sangan is very powerful, of course, as is Snipe Hunter and Spirit Reaper. Zombie Master at 3. What an unbelievably powerful card. Send a monster from your hand to the graveyard, reanimate a monster from either graveyard, special summon that target. Speaking of, Book of Life is joint DD Crow plus Monster Reborn, unbelievably strong. Brain Control, of course, is fine. We have some stuff that tributes, but more often than not, we're just going for OTKs with this card. We've got triple Card of Safe Return. This card can never come back. And I see some ban list people talking about how it should go to 1. Absolutely not. Whenever a monster is specialed from the graveyard, draw a card. We've got creature swaps. Obviously, we're on Recruiters. This is a great way to proc them. Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, Mystical Space Typhoon, Double Nobleman of Crossout, Premature Burial, Call, Crush Card Virus, Double Dust, Mirror Force, and a Torrential Tribute. In the side, we've got first 2 Bazoo and 2 Return from the Different Dimension. Dale was no stranger to Bazoo Return. In fact, they had piloted it to some pretty impressive finishes previously, and being able to board into the strategy just by slotting out 4 cards meant that in games 2 and 3 they could flip a return and sack their opponents. Also, a lot of stuff ends up getting banished sometimes anyway, just by virtue of Double Nobleman of Crossout being in the format. We've got a Jinzo, of course, against nonsense, alongside 2 Magical Merchant if games go a little longer. Neospatian Dark Panther is a puzzling card. This card becomes pretty popular in the next couple of formats because of its interactions with Rescue Cat and Gladiator Beast decks, and sometimes you can snipe an opponent's Dark-Armed Dragon in order to pop their board, but I'm a little in the dark as to why Dale's playing it. Dale, if you're watching this, please let us know. My best guess right now is that Neospatian Dark Panther is good enough against some sort of combo deck that we haven't really encountered yet. Realistically, you could use it to copy an opponent's Demise King of Armageddon, which is still being played, though not seeing much success. And Dale has played that deck in the past, so potentially that's it. We've got 2 Pulling the Rug, 2 Royal Decree, and 2 Iboku. So, excited to show this off. I'm going to draw 15 cards off Card of Safe Return.
You see, guys, it's just that easy. All you have to do is believe in your Lord and Savior, Rise of the Storm Monarch, and he will bring you to victory, which is why we're in the winner's circle and why we have a week off from the Shirt of Shame. But Joseph and I decided to do something a little bit different for this episode. We decided to forego the wheel this time around because we wanted to talk about a card that we haven't really seen much of, although it was very prevalent at this time, Crush Card Virus. Now, Crush Card was actually a prize card that was awarded, and there wasn't really any other way to get this card at the time, and because of how powerful this card was, anyone from the anime already knows how powerful the card is, it demanded an absolutely absurd, exorbitant, outrageous price tag that only the very privileged few could actually afford, or if you were friends with the right people, you could actually borrow this card. Even when this card actually gets reprinted in Gold Series, those copies would go for several $100s because it was severely short printed, but we aren't even at that point yet. This is still around the time where you had to have the prize card version if you wanted to play the card at all. But we're now going to be doing a showcase of the perfect circle. After 10,000 years in the hyperbolic time chamber, we now have ascended to the ultimate form, the perfect advantage engine that would terrorize the format for the next several months. Joseph's going to be playing a zombie deck, taking advantage of the new cards from Tactical Evolution, cards such as Illblood, Zombie Master, and this was a deck that was very popular thanks to in part to Card of Safe Return from Labyrinth of Nightmare being just an absolutely broken card. It just never had the shell or the vessel that made sense to play it in until zombies finally came to the forefront, and they were definitely one of the meta contenders at this time. So we're going to be showcasing two of the most popular decks, and when you look at the top cuts from around this time, it was a lot of Perfect Circle, a lot of Zombie. There was a few other sprinklings of decks here and there, but these were the two heavy hitters, and we wanted to both play decks that were taking advantage of Crush Card. So being the Monarch fanboy that I am, I of course opted to play Perfect Circle. I also know Joseph really wanted to play Zombie, so I decided to let him have it for this time around. So let's go ahead and quickly do the card by card. If you've watched any of the previous episodes where we're playing Monarchs or any variant of Perfect Circle in its incomplete form, you're gonna have a general sense of what we're trying to accomplish, but this is probably the best state the deck ever ever achieve. Starting off with one Breaker. Breaker is newly unbanned, and I still can't believe this card was ever banned to begin with, but it is a very powerful card, but it is now back at 1 Card Trooper. This card was limited, and as a result, Troop Dupe Scoop format was no more, but the card is still insane, which is why we opt to play it. 2 copies of Cyber Dragon to support our little Monarch engine, just a great beater as well. 1 copy of Disc Commander. This also got limited, but players were only really playing 1 copy of this anyway, so it wasn't too big of a deal. Also a very great target for a Crush card. You get it in the graveyard, then you can start bringing it back, drawing cards, and the game just steamrolls from there. Destiny Hero Fearmonger to bring back our Disc Commander. 2 copies of Malicious, newly semi-limited, but still just as powerful even at 2. 1 copy of Stratos to search all the heroes. 2 Mystic Tomato in the superior artwork. This will get us to most of our strong dark targets, but most importantly, if we have Crush card, this will ensure that we can actually get to a way to use it. 3 copies of our Lord and Savior Rise of the Storm Monarch. Once again, we will ride him to victory because this card is insane. And paired with a new card, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, this is where the deck starts to get out of hand. The deck starts to amass a ton of advantage with a card like Disc Commander, and then you can convert that advantage with a card like Wing Blast to set your opponent back even further, because Wing Blast is just Ryza, but in a trap card at the cost of discarding a card. But if you can set your opponent back with a Ryza plus a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, it is just game over, because you've just set them back 2 turns entirely, and there is no coming back from that. It took till around this time for players to realize this powerful interaction. 1 copy of Sangan, another fantastic Crush card target, but it can search a majority of the power cards in our deck. 1 Snipe Hunter. This card was actually newly limited, and for good reason, because as we've seen, Snipe Hunter is crazy. 1 Spirit Reaper, another Crush card target, but also just a fantastic card all around. 1 Treeborn Frog to help with the Monarchs, and 2 copies of Zaborg. Yes, Ryza is the better card, but Zaborg is still fantastic, being able to pop anything that's in our way. And yes, we can't go after back row, but Zaborg is good enough that it still did warrant seeing some play, and around this time, players started to actually bring Zaborg back into the fold alongside Ryza just to be as deadly as possible. That does it for the monsters. For the spells, Brain Control, newly limited, and I think after seeing the last few episodes, we know why this is the case, because this card is also nuts. 2 copies of Destiny Draw to turbo through our Destiny heroes. 1 Heavy Storm, double Lightning Vortex. Again, we have a ton of cards we want to get into the graveyard, or we're going to have excess advantage from cards such as Disc Commander that we're able to freely play a Raigeki that requires a discard. Mystical Space Typhoon, double Pot of Avarice. This is just insane in this deck, because we can load up the graveyard very quickly with cards such as Card Trooper, and with all the other little monsters in here, it's not that hard to get our graveyard loaded. We recycle, draw more cards. It's all about advantage in this deck, and I really hope to demonstrate that in today's episode. 1 Premature Burial. This card is somehow still legal, but it still remains to be the case. 1 Reinforcement of the Armies, 1 Scapegoat for the spells, and for the traps, Call the Haunted, Crush card Virus itself, Mirror Force, 3 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, 1 Torrential, and the Transmigration Prophecy. If you've never seen this card before, it's a normal trap that says target 2 cards in the graveyards, shuffle those targets into the deck. This is a nice piece of tech. It's cool because we can shuffle back like a Malicious into our own deck. Like, let's say we mill one off of a Card Trooper if we had the one already engraved, but we could also use it as an interruption for our opponent. Joseph is on zombie specifically, and this is pretty good because if he targets something with, let's say, a Zombie Master or an Ill Blood, we can Transmigration Prophecy, shuffle it away, and we're actually going to be looking pretty good after that. So we can use it both proactively and reactively depending on the circumstances. I would say more reactively more than anything, because it's not going to be often we want to shuffle back our own cards, but a nice one-of. This card also looks gorgeous in Ultimate Rare if you've never seen it. Since Metamorphosis has been banned, we don't have an extra deck because there really is nothing that we can go into at this point, and for the side deck, we have 1 Banisher of the Radiance. This will probably come in games 2 and 3 because getting every one of his zombies banished is probably for the better. We do have some graveyard interaction in our deck, but I think it's outweighed by the fact that this card will completely hose Joseph's way of getting any cards off of Card of Safe Return and getting back advantage off of Zombie Master and Ill Blood. 2 DD Crow for the same reason. These will probably come in as well. 2 Jinzo for any of the trap-oriented decks because Burn still had several tops around this time. 2 Dust Tornado, 3 Pulling the Rug for any Monarch shenanigans, but I don't think we're going to be playing any Monarchs because Joseph is, of course, on Zombie. 2 Royal Decree, and 3 Waboku so we do not get blown out. I am so excited to play this deck. This is one of my favorite decks ever, and I really think this is going to be a very, very fun episode. And not to mention, I really hope we can blow out Joseph with Crush card because he will never live it down. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to duel. Joseph, this episode is going to be a disaster. We both have access to one of the most powerful cards in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, thanks to the patrons, really. Thanks to their patronage, we were able to go out and buy SJC Crush cards just for this specific episode. So thank you, patrons. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, listen, I understand you appreciate our patrons. I think that they could stand to be a little bit less stingy. Why couldn't you get me 3 copies of Crush Card Virus? It's so good in my deck. Come on.
It is limited, to be fair.
At this point, it's limited.
At this point, yes.
I think early on in its lifespan, it's actually at 3, and no one plays it at 3 because no one trusts anyone with 3 copies.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good reason for that. It's funny, though, speaking of patrons, you and I were talking as we were setting up for this episode. We saw that there was a volcanic Monarch deck that topped around this time and said, if Payne really wants to see that episode, let's get the Patreon to $10 million and maybe we'll make that happen. But that's definitely a far cry from where it'll ever be, that's for sure.
You heard him, folks. Get donated. Jeff Bezos, if you're watching, you could make it happen.
Oh my god. But this is gonna be a fun episode. You and I have been talking about playing zombies for quite some time. I mean, you're the one actually playing zombies. I'm still playing my favorite deck ever. But I mean, zombies is such a cool deck, and I really hope that we get to demonstrate like how powerful and broken of a card of Safe Return truly was.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really hoping one of us gets blown up by Crush Card, to be perfectly honest. I think that would make for a very entertaining episode.
Hey, buddy, as long as it's not me, I'm happy.
We'll see. Let's go ahead and shout out our patron, though, and get started. It is, speaking of Jeff, it is Jeff Jordan. Thank you so much for the support, buddy. I have the rock, paper, scissors generator. Joseph, I don't know what to say, buddy. I don't know what to say. It was on paper. I refreshed, and it was scissors. I mean, if you want me to go back to the dice cam next week, maybe I'll have to go and unearth my deck box full of dice since moving. But I don't know what to tell you, buddy. It's just not going your way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a discussion with the programmer of the auto rock paper scissors button because it's not working so hot.
Doesn't seem like it. All right. Good luck, though, buddy. I will start with a nice, humble T-set and pass. Go ahead.
All right. I will draw for turn, and ooh, the worst card in my deck. Don't mind if I do.
Fantastic.
Now let's see. What on earth could you be playing? Oh, God, this deck played so many stupid cards. I'm going to lead with a Breaker the Magical Warrior. Is that okay with you?
Well, now you're going to force me to think here a bit.
Are we CCVing turn 1?
I wish. I would have flipped that sucker immediately if we were, but I don't think that is the case. How much do I value this card? Not all that much. That's fine.
All right, with priority, I'll be getting a counter onto my Breaker the Magical Warrior.
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and get that sucker to the grave.
It was a Wing Blast. It's a tough one. Like, I don't really want to give you Breaker back, so I guess I just have to let it go here.
It's weird. Wing Blast now is just a terrible card. It shows up once every 15 formats because it's simply too slow. But back then, I mean, a piece of removal that also time seals your opponent, sign me up. And sign me up for losing to whatever your set card is.
It was a Mystic Tomato, so...
Yikes.
Not too bad. Now, the question is what I want to grab off of said tomato. I think, got a few things here. I think I'm just going to go for a nice, easy Sangan. It's probably the best thing I could get.
All right, well, whatever. If you want to get that DD Dungus to your hand, you are more than welcome to. I'm going to pass it back to you. You'll draw the Crush Card Virus. We can go to game 2. Don't worry, buddy.
Nothing else? What's going on over there, buddy? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling all right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty big. So we'll sack for the Zaborg. We're going to get a little chain going here. I'll pop the Breaker. With Sangan, I am going to grab Disc Commander, and I do have the Destiny draw in hand already.
Oh, my God.
So
come on.
This is where this deck just gets so fun. Oh my God, it's great. Okay, we'll hit for 24.
Okay.
And then in main 2, I will set a card, and I think I'll just pass it over. Go ahead.
All right. Alex, you're kind of showing off your lack of understanding of this matchup. I'm going to normal summon a Pyramid Turtle. Is that okay with you?
Oh, is this where the creature swap is supposed to come down? I guess not necessarily. You could just go Crash for Ryukoki as well. You didn't do anything else last turn. If you go creature swap, you take Zaborg, you Crash, you get the Koki, and that's pretty good. All right, show me the creature swap.
Off the top, baby. Let's go.
Of course.
Hand me over your card. You can have my Pyramid Turtle.
That's fine. Thank you. So generous of you. What are you going to be doing with this turtle, Joseph? I wonder.
Well, I am going to try to go to battle phase and attack into it if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll take 1,200, trigger your turtle, get the fewest of Kokis.
Oh god, Ryu Koki would be so absolutely based. I'm thinking about getting Illblood too. Oh my gosh.
Illblood's pretty good. Yeah, Illblood's pretty nice.
The targets are just unending. I will be grabbing a Ryu Koki here. So we'll special summon the boy, and we will get in for 24 if you'll allow it.
I'll allow it. That's fine.
All right, I'm going to go to main phase 2, and I think that is it from me. You are good to go.
See, Creature Swap is just such an incredible card.
It's okay. I actually have pretty mixed feelings on it. It tends to rot in your hand a lot of the time. It's obviously a huge blowout when you have a recruiter, but you're only on 5 recruiters.
Okay, how do I want to play this? I think I'm just going to set and pass it over. Nothing crazy.
All right, I'll draw. Ooh, that's a gross one. Okay.
Be pretty good if you got Illblood here, because then you could bring back that Pyramid Turtle.
See, the problem is you think that I want to bring back the Pyramid Turtle in my graveyard. And why would I do that when I can summon a Pyramid Turtle from my hand?
Fair. I will Torrential here. We're going to not let this get out of hand.
Really hoping that was not Torrential. Jeez, that sucks. All right, that's fine. All to the grave, and I imagine that set card is the... Oh, the Fearmonger.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not going to get to trigger that, but that was just going to actually kill me if I didn't Torrential, so.
All right, no big deal. I guess I'm passing turn here.
All right, we'll draw, and that's not too bad. Do I really want to do that? All right, let's jam. I'm going to Avarice.
Oh my god, what do you mean, oh, do I really want to do that? Oh, I see why. You have exactly 5 in your graveyard,
I have
so
exactly 5.
Back.
Correct, yeah, so that's the bad part about this. If I draw, like, any revival spell, it's not the best.
I would love to see you draw Monster Reborn Fearmonger. Let's see that.
It's interesting. I'll say that. All right, I'm going to normal summon a Sangan. I'll poke for 1,000.
You drew the Sangan again, huh?
I did redraw the Sangan, yes. Go ahead.
Fine. I will draw for turn. Oh, just perfect timing on these cards. Jeez Louise. How do I want to do this?
This has actually been quite a slow game considering how explosive these decks can be.
All right, I'm going to normal summon a Card Trooper here.
That's fine.
I am going to go ahead and activate its effect. Cool.
Okay. All the turtles are gone.
Well, that's fine. That card sucks anyway. Do you have any idea how slow it is? Ooh, that Sidra would have been nice.
Would have been.
I mean, not that nice. I guess I'm going to combat, you know, get in.
All right, I'll take the 9. I'll trigger Sangan.
This is just such a bad position to be in. I hate the Sangan beats. It's just such an explosive setup.
All right, let's grab a Spirit Reaper.
Oh, buddy. I don't know if I have an out to that card. Oh, shoot. Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll draw. Anything?
No. Anything? What do you mean anything? Yeah, let me just droll you right now. You want to play this turn under Lancia, buddy? Anything, he says.
I've got a couple ways I could do this. Okay, so this turn starts by specialing Sidra, no matter what I do.
Youch. Okay.
So that's 17. That would put you down to 29.
God, am I dead? Guess I could be. I've only got a 400 attack point monster on my side of the field.
You know I have Reaper, so I'm debating here if it's worth going for the Reaper. You're going to draw off of Trooper, but then Reaper can get rid of a card that you draw as well. You haven't really been doing anything.
Yeah, this has been a weird game.
I'm guessing your hand is just clogged with like Koki Illblood, and like you just can't get them out of your hand. I guess like even if I hit them out of your hand, it doesn't exactly accomplish a whole lot. The alternate line is I just go for a bit more damage, and I kind of like that a little bit better because it does insulate me a little bit in case you have some sort of crackback play. So I will bring out Mystic Tomato.
Sure.
I'm going to go in. Let's hit the Card Trooper.
This is 17.
Yep.
All right, let's see what
we
we
got.
got.
Hit you for 14 as well.
Yikes. All right, 1,400.
And that's all for me. Go ahead, buddy.
Ay. This is a really rough one.
I feel like we both just have nothing but monsters in hand.
Yeah, this one's pretty crusty, not gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna special summon a Sidra of my own.
Off the top, that's good.
Well, off the top, I've got 6 cards in hand. I should hope one of them is a monster.
Well, you did mill one of them.
I'm gonna activate a creature swap here.
Interesting. All right, take the tomato.
Sure. And then I will sack the tomato for a Ryu Koki.
Fair. That way the tomato doesn't trigger. It's understandable.
This is a decent setup. I just feel like it loses to pretty much everything. I'm gonna go to combat. I'll attack into your Cyber Dragon. I want to preserve the Dark Cyber Dragon as long as I can.
Unfortunate.
We'll go to main phase 2. I guess I will Set this card, and you are good to go.
All right, I'll draw. You got the one of dust shoot for me, buddy?
One of dust shoot in the main. What do you take me for?
You love dust shoot. What are you talking about?
I love dust shoot. You're right.
All right, I'm going to start with MST off the top to hit the back row.
Okay, it was card of safe return. Never
Okay, yeah, that was never doing anything, and that'll be game one, because I do have a Zaborg that was sitting in my hand.
Yep, sounds good. I feel so bad. We talked up Crush Card Virus. We talked up the really cool explosive plays our decks are capable of. And then that game was decided by, like, who bricked less. God, basically. That was miserable. All right, hopefully this second one, someone will get to pop off, and I'm hoping that it's me.
You're going first, so it's much more likely that that is the case. And I really hope that you brick again. So let's see what happens.
You may just get your wish. I'm going to set one card and set one. Do I even set this? Nobleman of Crossout is legal in this format. It's a 2. What, are you gonna use a removal spell on me? You could go for like a Zaborg. Yeah, I'm just gonna normal summon the Pyramid Turtle. Cards on the table. You know what it is.
Shocker. Never would have guessed.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'll draw. Anything?
Nah.
Okay. Go to main 1. Oh, am I really gonna do this? I kind of think I do. It's very greedy, but we all know how much I like greed. All right, I'm gonna special summon a Cyber Dragon.
Special Sidra tribute for Zaborg. Yeah, that's the punish play. Go for it, buddy.
I'm gonna Lightning Vortex your Pyramid Turtle.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just terrible. Wow. Sure.
I have a Spirit Reaper, though, which is why it's greedy.
Yeah, I see.
All right, so go in. We'll hit for the 21.
In fact, you will hit for 0.
I will hit for 0, in fact. All right, so that is the punish. I will go to main 2. I will set 1 and pass to you.
All right, I'll draw for turn. Oh, yikes. Okay, that's rough. I'm going to heavy here.
Never thought I'd be flipping this card up, but it does potentially cut you off of some plays. I'm going to chain Transmigration Prophecy.
You're not playing this card, buddy. You're not playing it.
This card.
Jesus. Yeah. No problem.
So I'm going to give you back a turtle, and I actually think I'm going to... I want to give myself a... It's up to 2, right? Oh, it's 2. I do have to target 2.
Exactly 2, yeah.
I really want to give you a Waboku. I could give myself back like D-Draw or Vortex. They're not the worst cards, but they're not like fantastic at this moment. I guess I'll give myself back the Vortex. So,
sure. And
we'll shuffle them away. I figure this cuts you off some like sort of zombie master shenanigans. It cuts you off card of safe return activation, so it's whatever.
Right. I'm going to special a Sidra, and it's time for my greedy play. I will walk into your Reaper.
Okay, I'll take 18.
All right. Main phase 2, I'll set 1. You're good to go.
Okay, I'll draw. Anything?
No.
All right. Go to main 1. I mean, it's pretty greedy if it goes through, so battle.
I do have Mirror Force.
You know, that was basically the worst possible outcome, so that's fair. Deserved. Main 2, I'll set 1. Go ahead.
Was really afraid that I telegraphed that too much by attacking the Spirit Reaper, but I was like, I know Alex. He wants the card out of the hand.
It's so good if it works, right? I mean, and Mirror Force is one of the only punishes, so it's like better have it, I feel like. I'll take the 21.
Yeah. You are good to go here.
All right, I'll draw. That is not great. That is not great. Go ahead.
I'll draw. Oh, strange. Very stupid. I don't know. We'll try it again. This seems to be doing all right.
All right. Go ahead.
Second main. I will tribute my Cyber Dragon for an ill blood.
Ooh. That's kind of a problem. I'll torrential. Let's just get out of here.
It's actually a problem for you, buddy. You cut me off of some pretty sweet plays with your little shenanigan, and now I'm going to get to do them anyway.
Oh, what are you going to target with that Book of Life, buddy?
Going to be a Cyber Dragon and an ill blood for me. You got the DD Crow in your hand?
I do have the DD Crow in my hand, actually, so you will not be doing anything.
All right, okay. You're good to go.
All right, let's get a sick rip off the top. That's not great. All right, this is okay, though. Banisher of the Radiance.
That's a decent one.
I'll hit for 16.
You are just not going to let me have fun, are you?
I mean, I had to play my outs in the side deck, so out my Banisher. That will out my Banisher. Yep.
I'll out your Banisher every day of the week, buddy. Main phase 2, I'll set 1 card, and I just want to resolve card of safe return 1 time, please.
Go ahead.
All right, you think you can trick me into not attacking? You're right. Just kidding, I'll attack.
It's Scapegoat, so I'm not dead.
You are kidding me. All right, I'll take a goat. Go
All right,
ahead.
draw. It's going to buy us some time. That's actually kind of good. Brain control the Sidra.
Yeah, sure, whatever. You can't kill me.
I'll sack it for a Ryza.
Targeting?
I guess I'll go after the back row.
Cool, it's torrential. I'll chain it.
All right, fine. That's fantastic. And go ahead. Any monster does it.
Yes, in fact, Snipe Hunter will.
Snipe Hunter will do it. All right, game 3.
Miserable one.
Joseph, this has just been such an odd set. I was expecting this to be like crazy card of safe return shenanigans and like me going and drawing a million cards, and it's just been like fair Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Yeah, this sucks. I was ready to do some nonsense, but so far, you know, as far as we can tell, like normal Pyramid Turtle Pass is about the best we can manage. I mean, good luck to you. I hope that you don't draw anything too crazy like a Crush Card Virus, but at this point I wouldn't be too surprised.
I'll go ahead and draw. It's maybe that's why these decks were both the best decks around this time, right? Like maybe we're seeing why that's the case. I'm not too sure.
They're
anyway,
competitive against each other? I don't know. I'm reaching, dude.
Strange. Yeah, why would they ever top together, you know? Why would we ever pick from that pool of decks specifically? Anyway. All right, well, this is... It's something. All right, I will go ahead and set. And I will set 2 cards and pass it over.
All right, let's see that CCV, buddy.
You're good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go to main 1 here.
It's fine.
How do I want to do this? Well, I'm gonna special summon a Cyber Dragon, I think pretty much every time.
Yep.
Let's go for a Breaker the Magical Warrior after that.
Are you going to be using priority to get your counter, sir?
I will be doing that, yes.
Okay, well, in response to that, you fool, you triggered my Crush Card Virus!
Why didn't you say that? Oh my god.
Get wrecked, idiot! We have Sangan on top of it. Oh, baby, it is so good. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out.
Oh, well, I've really lost the game right now.
Get him out. Get him out.
Okay, so how does this work? I'm losing every monster I control and in my hand, and I draw for the next 3 turns that has 1,500 or more attack.
Oh, and I get the hand knowledge too, by the way. So let's see what you got on top of it.
Okay. So I'm going to lose the Cyber Dragon. The Breaker, the Magical Warrior, I guess I will lose as well. I'm also going to lose a Ryukoki, not that big of a deal. My hand's pretty decent otherwise. I've got Reaper, Turtle, Call.
Okay.
And I'd say we still have a game on our hands, but I'm on 3 cards and you're about to search off of Sangan.
Oh yeah, it's going to get nasty. I'll get a Disc Commander. Continue. Reaper me if you wish.
Continue. I can't Reaper you. I spent my normal on Breaker!
Oh, that's right.
All right, I'm going to set 1 card. You're good to go.
Okay, so the set is Call, obviously. All right, it's time to have some fun here. We will go to main 1. Let's start with Destiny Draw, pitch Disc Commander.
Jesus, yeah.
Oh, it gets worse, buddy. Call the Haunted, target Disc Commander.
Yeah, that sounds about how worse it's gonna get. May you draw into Fearmonger.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Ooh, that's not bad either. Okay, so what's the best way to go about it now? I'm up about 9 cards on you at this point, so if I lose this, it's kind of my own fault.
Yeah, you're up 4. This would require the graceful charity punt in order for you to lose.
So your hand is Turtle Reaper. I get to see your draws. Let's go ahead and normal summon Stratos. I'm gonna pop the Called.
Jeez, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, all that and you draw your 1 of Stratos as well?
Oh, no, that was in my hand the whole time.
Oh, okay then. Let me think. Is there a better way to do this? Yeah, there's nothing that floats. Yeah, I'll send the call.
All right, so we'll go to battle. I'll swing for 21.
Yep.
And then in main phase 2, I will set myself a couple of cards. You know, if you draw Heavy Storm, so be it. And I'll pass the turn.
1 time heavy, please.
Let's see what you got on the Crush card, buddy. Turn 1.
It was Sangan. So
all right, so that does dodge it.
Oh, God. What do I even get? There's nothing I can do about this.
We did say that one of us was going to resolve Crush card this episode. It just unfortunately wasn't you.
0% chance one of those set cards isn't Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast is something I cannot play around. I will just get tempoed out if you get it off. I can't even, like, go for the Spirit Reaper in order to play around it because Spirit Reaper isn't destroyed until the card resolves, and by that point it'll be on top of my deck. I don't know. I guess I'll put you on a Gotta Have It, though. This also loses to Mirror Force. It loses to Torrential. That said, you know, I think I have to play as greedy as possible from this position. I'm going to normal summon a Pyramid Turtle.
That's fine.
All right, let's go to combat. I'm going to try and walk into your Stratos.
I will Mirror Force the Pyramid Turtle.
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, we'll draw. Can we close it up? No, I don't think so, actually. All right. It's still decent, I think. Yeah, I can't game you from this position. How do we want to do this? Your hand is Sangan Reaper. This is probably the best thing I can do. It's not fantastic, but I don't really feel like you're getting out of this no matter what. I'm gonna tribute the Disc Commander for a Ryza.
Okay.
I'm going to Ryza mandatory effect, target my back row, and then I'm going to chain it. It's Transmigration Prophecy. So I'll force you to shuffle Koki and Turtle back into the deck.
Sure, that's fine.
Now, because of the way that this works, this goes to the graveyard before Ryza resolves, so it actually doesn't go back to the top, which is why I did it that way, and now we'll hit in for 4,200 damage.
All right, got to be something crazy off the top. Let's see it.
Gets all the zombies out of the grave. I just had to hit for maximum damage there. It's a giant rat. Okay.
It's not bad. I can trade with the board, but honestly, what does that do? I can't even trade.
You
with the
dodged
board.
crush cards 2 turns in a row, though. I mean, that's pretty good.
If I set Reaper, I'm dead to Zaborg. I and every removal spell. If the set card is Phoenix Wing, I'm just fucked. Oy, oy, oy. Talk about being between a rock and a hard place here. I don't think I can go for the rat line because if you have any monster, I'm dead. Breaker just kills me at that point. You have to voluntarily trade the Reza into the Koki, and then I can die to your normal summon. That's even in a best case scenario where everything resolves and no one gets booked. All right, I am going to set one card. Could be anything, and back to you, buddy.
All right, we will draw, and our Lord and Savior will bring us to victory. Rise of the Storm Monarch, come to the field once more.
Yeah, that was never happening.
It was. I also had Wing Blast anyway. I just wanted to Rise it because it's funnier.
Wow, what a painful game 3.
That did not go any bit how I expected it was going to go. The crush card was nice. I'll say that. That was very fun. Good game. If you want, we can do a game 4 and just play like fast and loose to maybe not get crush carded completely out of existence. But
no, I think that's fine. You know, crush card was a card that people played. It was this powerful, and that's why when you look at top lists from the era, you do see a lot of people who have randomly drawn into one copy of it.
I think one of the nice things about the zombie deck specifically, though, and I think we saw this with your draws, is that a lot of your cards are low attack and then can get around the crush card because Pyramid Turtle floats into the Koki and then it isn't affected by crush card. So that's one of the neat little tricks, I guess, of playing zombie in a format where some of the best players at the top tables own crush card, is that you can kind of like skirt around that, where Monarchs, obviously you can hit your Ryzas, hit your Zaborgs, whatever, but even if Koki gets hit, like, you still play Book of Life, you're
right.
playing a bunch of monster reborns that are just native to the zombie deck, and then on top of it you can still get more advantage from card of safe return. So I mean, again, the game was kind of decided as soon as crush card got flipped, but I think zombie is one of the decks that can actually fare pretty well against it because it has so much graveyard recursion specifically. So it's so unfortunate. I really wanted to see this deck go off, and it really just didn't.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see it go off as well. Obviously, we'll have a lot more zombie as formats develop. Turns out pitching Mizuki for Zombie Master is a lot better than just waiting on a giant rat to go through the long chain.
Fair.
But I think you're seeing kind of residual decisions from this format rear their ugly head. This deck is playing a lot of cards like Card of Safe Return and Creature Swap that kind of require you to already be drawing pretty well. And the Perfect Circle deck is just playing so many reactive cards, they can kind of prevent any of those game plans from getting off to the races. Game 2, when we both were sort of bricking in very strange and different ways, going for the Tribute Summon Illblood plan to get a zombie into rotation so that I could bring it back and draw a card off of Card of Safe Return. It's a lot of setup to draw a single card. And if you're drawing a whole bunch of cards every turn off of Disc Commander, then it actually doesn't matter if you take a bunch of sick 1-for-1s off of stuff like DD Crow and the Transmigration Prophecy. You are able to plus at just such a higher rate that it ends up not mattering and being unrealistic that you're going to be able to assemble all parts of a Card of Safe Return combo. And that's kind of how this deck played out as well. The metagame coverage of Dale Belito's Raizo's deck kind of caps out with him losing to a really competent player who just capitalizes on the fact that this deck tries to do something that requires setup. And if you're playing reactively, you can just stop it from doing that.
It's interesting, too. You actually didn't even pull Zombie Master any of these 3 games, did you?
There was, so game 1, there was a turn in which I could have, instead of going for Ryu Koki, gone for Zombie Master, and I did have the card of safe return in hand, but the play was just so low impact. It was like Zombie Master into a graveyard Pyramid Turtle to draw a single card, and you're not even going plus on advantage. You're committing a card of safe return to the board and pitching a card from your hand to draw a single card off Reborning Pyramid Turtle into your set copy of Torrential Tribute. So, you know, that's really just all there is to it. Like, this is a super flashy deck with a bunch of high roll plays, but if your opponent's playing anything that can react to any play, you are really, really on the back foot.
Another thing about card of safe return specifically in a format with Ryza is that it is just prime bait to be spun back on an open board and then just get reset entirely, so that way it almost locks the game up by itself. And that's one of the things that Ryza and Phoenix Wing Windblast, once Perfect Circle finally came to the realization that Wingblast is crazy in this deck, is that when you play cards that are specifically do-nothing cards on activation but are more combo enablers that allow you to generate advantage over time, the issue is by leaving those cards face up is that if you don't have the combos established and you're left vulnerable, then cards like Ryza and Wingblast almost punish you even further for it, because not only now do you lose the enabler, but then you also blank your draw on top of it, because most likely you did your Zombie Master play, go for card of safe return, and then that was it. You probably have no other resurrection spell in your hand at that point, and then you're just drawing a blank card, and then you're just out of gas at that point, and Ryza can just slam in for like 2 attacks in a row, and I basically get a whole nother turn on top of it. And so that's just the dynamic that Ryza creates as well, which is like, you know, part of the reason why this card gets hit at some point.
Yeah, no. I certainly did not like losing to Mobius. I like losing to Ryza even less, and unfortunately, I am going to be doing it for a fair amount of time.
I imagine so. I think both of us are going to be for the next several episodes at least, because I mean, moving forward, I mean, our next big set is Gladiator's Assault, right? It's kind of sad that Tactical Evolution introduced about a grand total of 3 cards that did anything.
Yeah.
But Gladiator's Assault, on the other hand, is a little bit different because we get the entire Gladiator Beast support. And yes, it's not the fully, you know, tiered borderline 0 deck.
There's no
Geysirus
remember yet. Yeah.
Correct. But it's still a decent deck for the time, right? And we do get to see the makings of it, and we get to see some older decks as well rear their ugly heads. I know Demise OTK might be in the future again, Joseph, so I know you'll be spinning for that if that's on the wheel.
I don't know.
Aside from that, though, we also get some cards such as Light and Darkness Dragon, which was distributed in another one of Konami's most infamous ways through manga, or like this weird like sealed product that had like 2 or 3 booster packs of like DRO4, and also just came with like a Light and Darkness Dragon. And you know, that was another inclusion in Perfect Circle eventually to kind of just like lock it up, because Light and Darkness Dragon is a house.
It is, and I'm really excited to see the type of gameplay it enables.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a blast.
Oh, I have one more thing to say. In the actual tournament in which Dale repped this deck, he lost in semis to a 13-year-old playing Burn. Some things never change, baby. Some things never change.
Now, what's funny is that when we were looking at the deck list for this, I mentioned this before we recorded, there were some Burn decks actually playing Crush Card Virus and playing like Dark Mimic level 3 just to facilitate it. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the History of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm on a 2-win streak, which you know what that means. I'm losing next episode guaranteed, but it's been fun. It's been fun being in the winner's circle and being out of the shirt of shame for 2 weeks, but we do always, of course, have to shout out our patrons. So big shouts to Shadow1317, Sean Alling Jr., Shotagadis, and Gayoko, Cameron Smith, Joshua Schlee, Tim00x3, Ika Ironfang, Pony Stark, Ian Musa, Michael Dente, Dan the Man Hoban, Part 2 Synchro Guy, Mystic Walk, Sylvia Wilds, Draconic, Dolly Wop, Dragon Lord, Inyo Taisho, Jarvis Martin, Logan Thomas, Peter Gregory, Thomas Nelson, Emil Cohen, Jordan Coons, Kilvin, Iron Bladesman, Pure Ace, Jesse Wood, True Nerdgasm, Benjamin Fuller, Brother Paul, Chris Hood, Damage Step Kalute, Henry Roaming, Lumpy, Nehru Celeste, Shane Reese, Cole T, David Liu, Rockly325, Lane Rogers, Brett Havey, Sky Rose, Dylan Hunter, Garthox DOW, Gigabyte 9436, and Dace Allen. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.